that. You're putting words in my mouth, but what I'm trying to tell you is that I don't mind doing that. As a Christian and an American and someone who lives in the richest country in the world, I think it is okay to help those who are in need. That's how I was brought up. That's what my faith tells me. So whatever sacrifice that I need to make as a person of privilege who lives in a rich country with freedoms that they...
I'm really glad, and this is something that you guys should do. In the event ever that you are confronted by anyone in media or whatever recording you, make sure you also record, right? Because I mean, Don Lemon is pretty good that he releases these things out in their entirety usually, and he gets his ass spanked, probably more than I would say more than he would like, but I don't know if that's really true. Anyway, but the fact that you have a record of exactly what took place is very important in these situations. So if you ever go out there, talk to people, go out in front of people. If you have given yourself the knowledge base and are sharp in your ideas and you figure these things out and you've thought them through, like I believe that this guy has, then you'll be okay. You'll be able to hold your own.
They don't have in their country. I'm willing to sacrifice something to help them. I don't believe that they should be pushed on the ground, handcuffed, and deported from the country where their families don't know. That's not true. The majority of Americans support comprehensive immigration reform.
Comprehensive immigration reform is a joke. Nobody knows what that means. Nobody knows what it is. He doesn't know what it is. He's just saying a talking point. He's very good and big on talking points. It is a point given. Say here, just say comprehensive immigration reform, and all will be good. Right as rain, as some would say. No, it's not good. It's not right as rain. It doesn't mean shit. It means absolute dog shit, actually. So if what comprehensive, what does that mean? Like, that's all I want to ask him. What does that mean? What does that mean? Does that mean that everybody that's here gets to stay here? Does that mean that you're going to put them through a vetting process? Does that mean it's going to be amnesty for some? Does that mean that, like, what does that mean? They will never give you a definition of exactly what it means.
Americans are not willing to support with their hard-earned money support people illegal coming into this country.
That's not true.
When there's people here, Americans who need it more, right? Yeah. So you're telling me that a veteran living on the street, he shouldn't get nothing, but a migrant man, 20 years old, who came across the border should be able to be put up in a hotel, get free food, free medicine, free cars, and everything, right? You think that's right? Is that right or no?
No, it's not right. Okay. But let me tell you why that's not. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. I'm not saying that I support that. What you don't understand is that it's not that migrants' fault.
Then why don't you say?
You're not letting me answer my question. What I'm trying to tell you is not that migrants' fault. It's the people who vote against comprehensive immigration reform and who vote against giving veterans in this country the help that they need. And that can be placed on both parties, but mostly on the Republican Party because they vote against it. And then you blame Democrats and you blame other people. You know what they're doing? People like me and you.
He is such a lightweight. Like, Don Lemon is such a lightweight. In watching him, as of late, he doesn't have like the intellect. Like, there are leftists that are super quick. They're super sharp. A lot of the younger ones, and they're quick. They're quick with the jab. They know their stuff, and they can formulate a pretty good, usually straw man, to counterpoint your argument. But he is just absolute, like, it's just paper thin. Like, what he's saying is absolute paper thin.
A minority and someone who is a veteran or people who are not billionaires, we have more in common than what you have with billionaires and a president who's a billionaire. They're trying to keep us fighting so that they can stay richer. The real issue is them. And
so his thing that puts him on that guy's side is the fact that he's brown. That's it. That's all he's got in that literally probably is. And it's crazy. He's taking a characteristic that has nothing to do with that man at all and is saying, we are on the same team because I'm brown. Like, what? I'm guessing this guy's a veteran, and he's saying that, yeah, I'm on your side, on the depressed side, even though I'm a millionaire, but I'm brown, so I'm on your side. Absolute retard.
They are not supporting veterans. I know that because I come from a family of veterans. And right now, you have people who are concerned about not getting veteran benefits because the government is shut down over health care. Every American should have access to health care. It doesn't matter. So it doesn't matter if they weren't getting it before the shutdown. They should get it now. And so now that we have the opportunity to fix it, I don't understand why people aren't saying, yes, health care, veterans.
$1.5 trillion to go towards it.
We have a lot of money.
So wait a minute.
$1.5 trillion to go towards health care is a good thing. That's a good thing. I want everybody to have health care. We can afford that.
For illegal.
Yeah. $1.5 trillion. Why not? Make it 7, make it 10, make it 12, make it 15. Just keep it going, man. Don Lemon doesn't need health care. okay. Don Lemon's okay. So now that doesn't mean that he can't have an opinion on something just because he doesn't need it, just because it's not in his wheelhouse. He can have an opinion on it, but he just doesn't seem learned on the issue. He doesn't seem to understand that, okay, if quote unquote healthcare is a right, then when does it end? When does somebody, if your rights to somebody's labor, what does that mean? What does that look like? You know, how do we incentivize people to go into an industry like that if their labor is just going to be given away? That's something a lot of people don't think about. Right? Everyone, I think it was Joe Rogan wants I think he said it. I still want a badass doctor that can go in there, that drives a Ferrari and can cut open my leg and fix all the shit and get me right as rain. Yeah, that only happens when meritocracy comes into place, and we can, some people get more than others. You're not going to have badasses going into the field if they can't drive a Ferrari and they're going to be driving a Toyota Corolla. And why that would happen would be if everything is put on the same playing field, like for example, like a socialist communist system, right? Everybody's on the same level. Nobody's getting more or less. Then why work more? Why strive for excellence when all you're getting paid for is mediocrity? Doesn't make sense, right? Like if we're all getting paid the same, why am I going to be busting my ass to try to do as much as I possibly can, to learn everything I can, to be as good as I can? Okay, will there be like a few altruistic doctors within all? Sure. But where do you get the biggest bang for your buck? Where do you get the most people that are striving for excellence? It's when their excellence is going to come about and bring them up and pay them more and have better benefits and have more, pay whatever it is you want to call it. In the end, people want to work hard because they want to reap the benefits of what they've done, of what they have accomplished. And if everyone's going to get the exact same thing, then there are no benefits. It's just you do the thing, this is what you get, and that's it. If you go up here, you still get here. If you go down here, you still get here. So what's the fucking point at that point?
That's not true. We don't give undocumented people healthcare. That's bullshit. That's not
They use
true.
our ERs as their
Why did
healthcare.
Pritzker cut him off?
You know who uses the ER? Hold on one second. Hold on one second. You know who uses the ER? You know who's a drain on the ER? American citizens, veterans who can't get the stuff that they want. Poor people who are not getting enough money, who can't afford a livable wage, or not making a livable wage. People who are homeless and on the street because they can't afford to live in America. That's the biggest drain.
All right,
It's not
all right.
migrants. And if we fix that,
Okay.
then we'd have more money
So
to
when
help
you say
people
that-
who are in
when you
need.
say-
So he's saying that the biggest drain on our emergency rooms are not undocumented. It is poor people. Even if that's true, which I don't think so, but even if it was true, the question is, are they still a drain on emergency rooms? Are they still a drain, or are they not a drain? So there's no way he could possibly say that they're not a drain, because they are a drain. So we want to fix that, don't we? He doesn't.
Say all the people on the street. There's a lot of people on the street that need help, right?
There's a lot of veterans on
a
our
lot of them
street,
on the
yeah.
street, right? So don't you think we should have helped them first before we paid for hotels?
I just said that, but you're not listening to me.
No, I'm asking you this specific question.
Yes.
If you had a choice right now.
I just said yes. Answer your question.
Okay,
Yes.
so answer this one. If you had a choice right now, an American veteran who's on the street needs help, or a migrant that needs help, who gets the help?
Both.
There's only one choice you can give it to. Who do you give it to?
I give it to the person who is in most dire need.
No, which one?
Person is
So, okay.
I'm not picking whoever's in the most dire need.
You've got mentally ill people on the street. Okay, a lot of them were veterans, right? And then you got healthy 22-year-old men coming in here illegal, right? Which one of those 22-year-old who's perfectly healthy to work that gets all the money from the government, free cars, free hotel, free everything, and they're giving it to them? But the veteran who gets it or who wants it can't get it.
My answer's the same. I would give both.
But it's not happening.
What do you mean it's not happening?
They're giving it to the migrant.
That's not true.
Okay, right?
No,
listen,
Yeah, that's not true.
Is giving
If the
migrants
Democrats-
health
Yes, but that is not stopping American citizens and veterans from getting health care.
So if
That's
the
what they're
mayor-
trying to
if
get
the-
you to believe. That's not stopping.
if the
That's not
mayor-
stopping American
if the
citizens from getting
mayor
health
of the
care.
city and the government and
You know what? He's right. That is not what's stopping American citizens from getting healthcare. The healthcare system is, it is broken. It is broken. A lot of it has to do with crony capitalism. A lot of it has to do with, I mean, there's a lot of issues you can go down the line. It is not the fact that the majority of people's premiums and all that stuff is way too high. I would actually agree on this point that the migrants aren't the sole cause of the healthcare system being atrocious or just not being affordable for middle America. However, it's not helping. It's not helping, and it's exacerbating the situation. It is absolutely making it worse, especially in inner cities where the bulk of them are. And to deny that is just denying reality.
And the governor of this state decided, hey, we're not going to take all this money and give it to migrants. We're going to help our veterans in this state. We're going to help our people, our citizens in the state before that. Right?
I just agree with you, but we need our government to do that. We need our government to have.
That's not what they're doing.
We need our government to do those.
Why aren't they doing it then? Why aren't they doing it then?
Why aren't they doing it?
Why aren't they helping?
Because people who you support, the Republicans, they cut the funding to do that. They block immigration reform. They block the reforms that will help veterans who are in need. You need to do your research and check it out. That's why we're in there. It's not a matter of who gets money out of the pot for this. There's enough to go around.
The mayor of Chicago was just fighting as hard for.
You need to do your research. Don Lemon telling someone to do your research. Yeah, I don't know. He must just be an idiot. It has to be. And an idiot. When I mean idiot, I just mean is he just that entrenched in his bubble? Has he not taken a look at the issues at all from a different perspective? From somebody that writes contrary to what he has thought or believed. See, the thing was, especially a lot of lefties, especially if you're in a city or very in close proximity to a city or metropolitan area, like myself, I've made a journey. Right, I started extremely left. I mean, I was doing musical theater and all that good stuff back in the day. So the majority of my old school friends are beyond progressive. I mean, they're, communists. And, to get to where I am now, it took a journey. It took a breakthrough period. It took like looking at myself, understanding why I think the way I think and how did I get there. And then to break out of that is a very difficult thing to do. And it gives you a totally different and a lot of perspective on your life, just life in general. And to go through that, I don't know if anybody, please let me know. By the way, if you're still here, please subscribe to the channel. That's all I ask, is just subscribe. I don't know of anybody that has ever gone from right to left. If you know of any person like that, please tell me. I literally would say that it's zero. There is zero people that have gone from right to left. I only know of people that have gone from left to right. Maybe that's in my bubble. I don't know. I really try extremely hard to get outside my bubble, to get outside my wheelhouse, and to really talk to people, my old school friends and everybody else that thinks very differently than I do. But I mean, that should say something. There has to be a message there. There has to be an underlying tone there where it says, well, if nobody in history has ever gone from right to left, they've only gone from left to right, that there needs to be something that's something, there's something going on there. And I think we have to explore that more and potentially start promulgating that message and getting it out. I'm going to do a lot more. I'm going to do more of a deep dive on that issue because it's really starting to spark an interest in my mind as to if this is in fact true, which I believe it is. That could be, I think, a catalyst, especially for younger people, to say, hey, listen, here's a quick little nugget, a quick little point of fact. Nobody's ever gone this way. They've only gone this way. And if that's true, then that means that more people are being reached by this messaging. And nobody on this other side, once they've achieved this side, or depending upon where you are in the camera, once they've achieved the right or have leaned toward the right side of the aisle, no one's ever gone back. I think it's pretty interesting.
It has nothing to do with the mayor of Chicago.
Yes, it has a lot to do with the mayor. We're talking about the mayor right now. If the mayor of Chicago wanted to help veterans on the street as much as he wanted to help the migrants, we would have less veterans on the street, correct? If he put as much effort into helping the veterans that are on the street, in this
fewer
country-
veterans on the
Live
street.
on my channel. So
If-
there
if
you
we
go.
had- if
I think
we-
that's a false argument. No.
How is that a false argument?
because
If this mayor went in front of the microphone every day and he said on the microphone every day
Yeah.
that this is a city for veterans, we're going to help them, rather than this is
Shout
a
out to you,
sanctuary
that's
city
online.
for migrants.
Why does it have to? Why can't it be both?
Why are you pitting poor people?
I'm just saying that he.
Hang on,
Okay,
one
okay.
second. Why
So
can't it be both?
Exactly. Why isn't he doing it for both then?
He is doing it for both. You
He's
don't
doing it
think
for
they're helping?
veterans.
Yeah.
He's doing it for veterans. Where?
I don't
Why
believe
isn't
that
he on
any.
TV
I don't
streaming?
believe that any city official in any city or municipality in this country would say we're not going to help veterans. That is a false
Why aren't-
argument.
Why
They
is he
are-
not on TV?
Yeah, they're not going to say that. They're not going to say that. That's like the stupid thing saying, "Oh, I'm for the kids." Yeah, I'm for the kids. Yeah, who's not? Who's gonna? It's like Don Lemon is like a 6-year-old. Like, do you honestly believe someone's gonna go up there and say, "Listen, f these kids, f these veterans," and they're gonna get into office? Like, that's the message that they're gonna espouse, and they're gonna get into office. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. This is an absolutely frustrating video. Don Lemon is an absolute joke. Follow him, troll him. It's a lot of fun. It can be frustrating, but it can be fun. You'll find some little nuggets in there. I tell you, it's pretty cool. Thank you so much for joining me. All I ask is for you subscribe to the channel, 6283 Talk, if you want to follow me on the X. I am John Soto. I'll see you again in the next video. Take care, guys.